All right, so let's do some videos on the last potential shreddings of Dante before Tabata either gets me with something else or just decides to throw him, like, I don't know, throw him out in the middle of the ocean so he can't just like come back for the arc or something. I don't know. Either way, um, I am optimistic about the future of Dante, and I think that it's really gonna come down to the next couple chapters, or at least the next couple times he's shown. Like, if he's not in the next few chapters, like we switch over to Xenon and and stuff, or we switch over to any other group for a while, and we eventually come back to Dante, then I could see that being like where exactly I'm insinuating there has to be. Oh, I got a huge stupid Microsoft ad thing that came up. I don't know if that's gonna go through, but if it is, that's what it was. But Dante, with this whole setup, the thing that I've noticed continuously from people that aren't really like, they don't like Dante enough to probably pay nearly as much attention. But I do like Dante. I really like his personality and the whole idea that he thinks that the more evil and malefic nature of humans is like the true side of them, because like animals and whatever don't have like the same thing, the same kind of emotions that he sees in people. I do think that's an interesting aspect to have as a character, and I do like the whole part of him that I think people forget is that he has to, like, he essentially has to be down bad in order to progress him and to put him into a situation where he's going to essentially put in more effort. Like the whole idea within like Black Clover, when you have like the the surpass your limits thing, Dante, assuming like he suddenly swapped, just like imagine he is put on the good guy's side, for him to have that moment, surpass your limits, somebody's got to be beating the hell out of him, and putting him into a like a position in his fight where he looks bad, where he has to be looking awful. Like we saw that when Yami was fighting him. We saw that when he was at points fighting Asta, when Asta actually was able to land damage on him and stuff. He has to be in a spot where he's like, well, I guess this level isn't being good enough. I'm looking like an idiot. Then he ends up putting in more work. But the stuff with Magna, because like I said, the following parts of this fight I think are the crucial area for Dante, because Dante didn't lose to Yami, arcane, wizard with dark magic and all this fighting prowess, and all these like keen instincts and battle tactic. Or Asta, main character, he's got anti-magic, trained by said swords guy, trained with other swords dudes. Like Asta, obviously, like he's been working hard for his own stuff, but still two people that, regardless of the variables of the character, we still look at him and he's talking about the power. The power these characters are using and stuff. They're just talking about dark magic, he's talking about anti-magic. But now Magna, outside of Magna's soul chain, he just has fire magic. There's nothing really that special about Magna's magic. It's more of how he uses it in general, the way that he like combos his fireballs, and like how he's got just different spells that really combo well together. But obviously the soul chain was the big thing in his fight that ended up screwing over Dante. But with Dante, I think that he has to realize after this fight, like, I just got defeated by this dude, this nobody, based off his abilities. And there's the whole point in his fight when Lucifaro's connection cut out. I am on this side, even if though I am still believing there's hope for Dante. I very much want Lucifaro to have willingly cut off the connection to him. I'm hoping Lucifaro completely ditched him, because I think that, combined with losing to Magna, that would be essentially his most down bad. He would be so in the mud that the only way from there is up. So the way that I'm really looking at this, again, I've worked myself up for these last 4 or so minutes to kind of go into like my theory, and I used this picture because I was going to do an edit, but I realized that this panel works perfectly. So Dante, after his fight with Asta, like, he knew that he, as a 1v1, he was better than Asta. Like, he was stronger, he didn't have the better power, because let's see, anti-magic's anti-magic, but he just was an all-around more powerful person. Whereas with Yami, if it wasn't for Dante's body magic level regeneration, Yami would have beat him, but in his case, it was the power set. You had one, with Asta, outright power advantage was what was going to get you the win, and with Yami, it was hacks. With Magna, it was hacks, but it was something that he let happen. You know, he didn't know that exactly how it was going to happen, but he pretty much let, you know, the chain hit him. He just wasn't taking Magna seriously. But if he can look at that, you know, after he's talking about their powers, and he sees, like, clearly this soul chain, this thing that Magna, somebody who was fodder to him, that he could have beaten immediately if he just put in the effort from the start. Like, if he just thinks about the soul chain, thinks about anti-magic, thinks about arcane magic, and really thinks about the powers in general, as well as Lucifero cutting him out, I'm hoping he takes that, plus the fact that Magna and Asta are peasants, and he's able to look at it instead of, like, I should be, like, have the highest level devil, you know, whatever. I am hoping that he starts, like, again, like, looking at Magna and Asta, bottom of the barrel in terms of their ranking in society. I'm hoping that he just goes, like, knocked but insane, and just gets tons of low-level devils. Imagine he has, like, Nox ability, like, where he's got, like, Pact, and he's got, like, the agility. He's got all these different, like, variables that kind of buff his own base magic, and just add extra perks to it. Imagine he's got that with body magic, and he just continuously develops all these, like, one-trick abilities that he can couple into his body magic, doing all these extra things. And then, having so many of them subjugated to him, he would pretty much become this amalgamation of devils. Like, imagine he just has, you know, 1,000 devils, but they're all just low and middle class devils. And, like, not only that, it would, you know, he could maybe even climb his way back up. Like, he starts with tons of low levels, eventually gets to mid levels, starts, you know, subjugating and taking over those, and starts working his way to the higher devils and whatnot. I mean, it's something possible. It's like a really high value maybe of Dante. No idea what Tabata is actually going to plan, but it's something that I was just thinking about the other day, and it was like, how could Dante come out of this Magna loss in a way that would really benefit his character? He doesn't have to become some whole new villain, but I'm hoping he takes these lessons and it pushes his villainous way into a different direction. Maybe in the same overall direction, but instead of, like, just, like, think about it as, like, instead he's more about, like, how he doesn't want to lose and how he wants to fight these guys again, but he wants to be ready, more prepared and whatnot, as well as, like, wants to get maybe revenge on Lucifero. He can actually play that really well into his whole setup, is, like, eventually, you know, maybe talk to the smaller devils, like, eventually if we all kind of group up, then, you know, the upper ones aren't going to be as much of a threat. Kind of, like, play into their insecurity, but also their hatred for devils higher ranked them, because we know that devils essentially just inflict pain on any of them lower ranked, so any devil is going to probably hate any of them that are above them. So it holds a lot of potential. Again, it's something that I'm not going to co-sign, like, for sure, like, this will happen. This is me saying, man, I hope this happens, because I do like Dante, and I would like some value to come out of him, and I really hope Tabata doesn't just have him lose to Magna and then never use him again. Because, like, I understand in reality that the Dark Triad are the goons of, like, these bigger devils. Like, they aren't actually, they don't currently have the full boss status. They're, like, really, they're, like, elite mobs. But I still think that everybody has hopes for them in their own different categories. But anyway, other than that, though, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this. Again, just imagine him with, like 1,000 different small devils. It'd be sick. Anyway, other than that, though, comment below. Thumbs up the video, friend, like button, subscribe button, check out my other videos. But than that, I appreciate it. Subscribe. Thank you all for listening. Bye.